Let's take a look, and it looks like this socket needs an L. Come now, complete all the circuits first. Let's take a look, and it looks like this socket needs an elbow connection. Found it! there.
номер 1 является активным.
you can match the ship's mass with those in the picture on the wall. Ready to go back to Talbot. Use the barometer. Talbot is waiting, my dear. Quick, go to the room barometer. You're ready to go. Just use the room barometer to get back to Talbot. No time to waste, miss. Go to the room barometer. make your way to the room barometer wherever you like. Looks like all systems go. The room barometer will take you back to Talbot.
You're back.
Are you alright? You don't sound too great.
Ever since we started these chats, I've had some odd symptoms. Don't know why. Patterson, tell me something. What year is it?
2017, of course.
2017? That means I've been down here for 64 years.
Wow. That's horrible.
Patterson, you're the only one that even knows I'm down here. If you leave, you have to promise me that you won't leave me here. That you'll help me get out.
Yeah, of course. No sweat.
Do you have a key for me?
Yeah, right here.
Hold it out if you would, so I can activate it. Oh, you found the Eiffel Tower key. Another memory of my time with Rena. Tell me, Patterson, have you ever been in love?
Once.
Didn't end well, I take it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Better to have loved and lost than never loved at all. Isn't that what they say?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Maybe it's a foolish sentiment. I miss Rena so much it hurts. Sometimes I almost wish I'd never met her, so that I wouldn't have to feel this way now.
Do you want your medicine?
I do. All you have to do is press that button there on the side, and Let's see. So I worked with machines, of course, and Rena worked with the mind. She and I saw them as the same in a way. She was absolutely obsessed with the idea of black box events.
What, you mean like in an airplane?
Sorry?
You know, how they have black boxes on planes now. How they record everything that happens in a flight?
Really? They do? Oh, fascinating.
Yeah, it's how they figure out what happens when planes crash.
I see. What a clever idea. There have been a few innovations since my day. But no, when I say black box, I mean it in the sense of a process that is hidden from the observer. Something goes in and something comes out, and we don't know what occurs in between. We see this with machines sometimes. The inventors place part of the equipment inside a so-called black box to protect the content from operators who might misuse it, or even break it. Rena wondered if such black box events take place in the mind. And if so, how and why? Do you have any more by any chance? That's very good. Yes, how to explain? Here, I'll give you an example. Have you ever driven home and when you pull into the driveway, you realize you don't remember how you got there?
Yeah, sure.
Of course, it's happened to us all. The human brain can go on autopilot, can't it? What do you think happens when we are asleep or hypnotized?
I'm not sure. Your mind kind of turns off?
No, it never turns off. Not until the day we die. Even when we are under anesthesia or in a coma. More, please. I'll tell you a secret. Doctors don't like people to know this, but they have absolutely no idea how anesthesia works. None at all. All they know is that the gas goes in and the lights go out.
For a guy with possible brain damage, you sure do know a lot.
Not nearly enough. I want to learn as much as I can about your mind. That's what Rena kept asking. She wanted to know, where does the mind go?
Depends on how much you've had to drink.
Yes, well, there's one thing I know for sure. We certainly managed to find a way into the problem. It was wonderful, and then it went pear-shaped, but there's still time to fix it. There has to be. Bring me more. Then we can get Rena, one way or another.
Am I imagining things? Or is there something weird about the way he talks about his wife? She's the key to this whole story. I need to figure out what he's not telling me. My readers are going to want to know the truth. I want to know the truth. Maybe Talbot's got something locked away in the black box of his own mind. If he does, I'm going to get in there, see what's inside.
The conservatory is just through here. When Rena threw a party, she pulled out all the stops. The champagne flowed in here some nights, I can tell you. Watch the china. It's delicate stuff. When we are Rena's parents. Those are some of our film reels. Rena liked to film interviews and review them later. She said it helped her learn about human behavior. I completed all the circuits in this room. You completed the circuits. Strange to have a nursery when there aren't any children about, I suppose. But for a short time we thought we were about to be parents, and I suppose we just got a bit ahead of ourselves. Decorated this room a bit prematurely. I never cared for this room myself. Too many sad memories for me. In this room, we transfer information from one part of the mansion to another. It's a bit like an old telephone exchange where you have to plug cables into the right sockets. Cozy. Thought this might look good in the room somewhere. Rena liked to read in here sometimes. It's quiet in here, and the light is quite lovely in the afternoon. Yes, notice that some cables are long and some short. It can be a bit fiddly.
Схема номер 1 является активным. Схема номер 2 является активным.
Make your way to the room barometer wherever you like.
Все схемы являются активными.
Hello. Hello.
Still hanging in there?
I'll let you be the judge of that.
Here you go.
How was the search for the keys coming along? A smart girl like you is probably quite good at solving these circuit problems.
Found 3 so far. You sure do have a funny way of protecting things. Couldn't you just use a safe like a normal millionaire?
I could, but those things are surprisingly insecure. Some secrets need to stay secret. What did you see on the key?
Looks like some kind of jewel. Another reminder of your wife, I bet.
Let's see it, if you would be so kind. Then I can activate it. That jewel is a reminder of her parents, actually. They were from Russia, you know, royalty before the revolution. They were very proud of their heritage and very disappointed that their daughter married someone who was so beneath her. A lowly mechanic. But where are they now? Dead and gone. And I'm still here, more or less. Enough of that. I want to talk about Rena, a brilliant woman, knew everything there is to know about psychology.
Ugh.
I take it you don't care for therapists?
No, they give me the creeps. I don't like how they try to get into your head.
Have you ever worked with one?
Man, you ask a lot of questions. Here, take your medicine.
Rena wanted to know why we even have an unconscious. Why do we repress memories if they're things we want to forget? We bury them deep inside. It's a strange survival tactic.
I wouldn't know anything about that. Nothing bad's ever happened to me.
We should all be as lucky as you. More, please. Rena and I theorize that since everybody has this ability to compartmentalize, all human minds must all be structured in similar ways, almost like machines, sharing an operating system, if you will. And if the mind is like a machine, perhaps we could go under the hood like a mechanic, take it apart and put it back together again.
That sounds really dangerous.
It was. It is. I mean, look at me. But that's the price of progress. I imagine you're out of those lights, eh?
I am.
Then please, go gather more. And at the risk of sounding like a broken record, find another one of my keys for the lab. We'll need them in short order.
Okay, never mind all that stuff about the unconscious. Let's talk about this story. It's big. It's worth money. You can make bank with this. Who should I call? The news? No, I should get an agent. That's where the money is. Yeah, smart. So let's see. What notes can I take? I need reminders for the blog. Rena's family is from Russia. They were wealthy. She was all about psychology. And so is Talbot, I guess. And they think the brain is a machine. These people are crazy.
It's time to visit the master bedroom. Completed all the circuits in this room. This is one I read myself growing up. completed the circuit. We used to have an impressive art collection up here, but had to clear it to make way for Fanny. Arena's parents lived here once. This was their bedroom. These huge ceiling, that four-poster bed, it's like something out of a novel, isn't it? Did you know that if you touch a certain spot inside a TV, it can kill you with an electrical shock, even when it's unplugged? It stores a shocking deadly amount of electricity. It's very dangerous to work on an open television. Let's see what's wrong with this circuit. It looks like this socket needs a straight connection. This object will help. Well done. Let's see what's wrong. It looks like this socket isn't right and needs attention. We're almost there. This is one of my favorite views. On a clear day, you can see all the way across the water. Nice work.
Schema номер 1 является активным.
Think about this. Television shows were made for exactly this sort of television. The people who made shows in this era knew what it would look like on these screens. They designed for exactly those specs. A perfect example of form following function. Now, there's a romance to these screens. They emit a low hum and glow, something that's almost soothing. Come. Oh, you're figuring. That's embarrassing. Let's see if we can run a bypass using the sockets in the room. see. It looks like this socket needs a straight connection. Let's see what's wrong with this circuit. Nice work. All right, it looks like this socket needs a straight connection. All right, it looks like this socket needs a straight connection. Here's the object you are looking for. That's the stuff. Talbot is waiting, my dear. Wait. Go to the room barometer.
You found another key.
This one has a brain on it.
Charming, eh? You know, Rena kept an actual human brain in her office. Got it from medical school.
Gross.
Very.
You remember such random things.
Don't we all? Hold out your hand, please. There we go. Now it's activated. Shall we begin? And by that I mean, would you please give me a dose? So, we came up with this plan to build a machine that would be a transport device, like a ship or a plane. But instead of taking us around the world, this machine would take us inside, into the human mind. We wanted to test our theory about how the brain is built much like a machine. More, please? We had only the vaguest idea how to proceed. We built dozens of prototypes, and they were disasters. They'd malfunction, blow their fuses, short circuit. But we couldn't give up.
What did those machines actually do? I mean, were you drilling a hole into people's skulls or what?
No. At first we built a sort of headdress. The one you are wearing right now, in fact. It was difficult to wear, as you know, because it completely blinded the test subject while they were using the machine. But it worked. It opened a window, I suppose you could say. We were able to pair electrical impulses, and that created the connection. We were able to look through a portal and actually see into another person's mind.
What did you see?
I'm sure that if you share those lights with me, I'll be able to tell you more. We saw how the mind worked. It was like watching a movie, but the movie was another person's thoughts and memories. I saw some things I wasn't meant to see, I suspect. But we were off to the races. Go, find another key and bring it back so I can activate it. Go on now.
This is starting to sound like a science fiction movie. How did they figure all this stuff out? I mean, they're from the 1950s. If even half of what he's telling me is true, this is... I don't even know what to think. This is hurting my head. Not sure how I'm going to write about looking inside other people's brains, but I guess I'll figure it out.
I'd suggest making your way to the observatory. We built this observatory because we believe that we are part of something much larger. We think that our sense of scale when it comes to our universe is completely wrong. Can you even imagine? What if we find out that in the bigger picture, this is all we are? A speck of a speck of a speck. It's like neutrons and protons forming a nucleus. Imagine if our solar system is as small as a proton, or even as small as a quark. I imagine technology has progressed greatly since my age. hopelessly small. We suspect that our universe is just an atom, a building block for something much larger. Rotate the object to line up the wires. 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 Nicely done. Now we can explore the meteorological room.
Является активным.
This is the meteorological room. Take that object, the one with the gear symbol, and pop it on to one of the gears on the floor. Give it a spin and see what happens. Spontaneously and create something never before seen, like a perfect storm, for example. I'm fascinated by systems. I'm just hardwired that way, I guess. And so I set up this room to learn more about weather systems. Take that object, the one with the gear symbol, and pop it on to one of the gears on the floor. Give it a spin and see what happens. I used to hear whispers at the university, rumors that the government was on the verge of learning to control the weather. Take that object, the one with the gear symbol, and pop it on to one of the gears on the floor. Give it a spin and see what happens. Rotate the object to line up the wires. Rotate the object to line up the wires. The elevator is here.
Является активным.
These old observatories are finicky. It's hard to cut through the atmosphere with this thing. The problem is that sometimes you see objects from different angles at different times of the year, and that can skew your data. Valves have blown. Luckily, there are spares nearby. If you can locate them and socket them into the holes, you can get the machine running again. Here's the object you are looking for. That's the stuff. If you turn this object around, it should work. We're almost there. That's our radio telescope. Rena and I used to try it and sort out where exactly the parallel exists in galactic space, using the stars to build a map for ourselves. Give it a try. Use the wheels to orient the telescope to the parallel's cosmic position. Should be interesting. Look at that. Yes, I did quite well with that, didn't I? Never was much at housekeeping, now was I? An inordinate amount of dust around the place. Maybe I'll get it to dust. Oh dear, I could use a bite, I'm hungry. You would go good right about now, a good stiff one. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, folks. Damn Russian flanges. Where is she? Blast it. Oh, bloody hell. The Russians aren't so bad after all. That worked. Oh, where is she? Taking a good old time, isn't she? I wonder if she remembered that. I made it quite clear. Let's see if she's up to the task. It should be interesting. Look at that. Yes, I did quite well with that, didn't I? Never was much at housekeeping now, was I? An inordinate amount of dust around the place. Maybe I'll get her to dust. Oh dear, I could use a bite, I'm hungry. You would go good right about now, a good stiff one. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, folks. Damn Russian flanges. Where is she? Blast it. Oh, bloody hell. The Russians aren't so bad after all. That worked. Oh, where is she? Stiff one. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, folks. Damn Russian flanges. Where is she? Blast it.
I completed all the circuits in this room.
Oh, bloody hell. The Russians aren't so bad after all. That worked. Oh, where is she? Taking a good old time, isn't she? I wonder if she remembered that. I made it quite clear. Let's see if she's up to the task. It should be interesting.
You completed the circuit.
Look at that. Yes, I did quite well with that, didn't I? Never was much at housekeeping now, was I? An inordinate amount of dust around the place. Maybe I'll get her to dust. Oh dear, I could use a bite, I'm hungry. You would go good right about now, a good stiff one. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, folks. Damn Russian flanges. Where is she? Blast it. Oh, bloody hell. The Russians aren't so bad after all. That worked.
The circuit.
Oh, where is she? Taking a good old time, isn't she? I wonder if she remembered that.
Circuits in this room.
I made it quite clear. Let's see if she's up to the task. It should be interesting. Taking a good old time, isn't she? Well done. Come, you're ready to go back to Talbot. I mean, quite use the barometer. Let's see if she's up to the task.
Which key is this?
The 5th.
You're more than halfway there. Let's see the latest one. A wrench. That's odd. Don't remember that one. Does it remind you of anything?
Not really. It's your key, not mine.
It's just that you're very mechanically inclined. My father was the same way, you know. Could fix anything, but terrible with money. As was I, until I met Rena. So, let's see what we discover today. Right. The Mind Palace. Have you ever heard that term?
No.
You create a series of locations in the mind where you can store information that you want to remember. The ancient Greeks used it to memorize long speeches, things like that. They'd think of a place they knew and they'd attach memories to the specific locations or rooms. When they thought of the location, that triggered the specific memory. Here's the amazing thing. When we went inside people's minds, we discovered that people intuitively create mind palaces for all their thoughts and memories. It's the mind organizing itself, but it's more than that. More, please. Rena and I could look inside these palaces and explore, watch people's thoughts and memories. But we soon discovered that parts of these palaces were blocked off. We couldn't access them. We wanted to, of course, but we could only look. We couldn't touch.
Why would you want to? Those doors are probably closed for a reason.
If you could share a bit more, I'll try to recall. Our theory was that things get trapped in the mind. The mind becomes a sort of prison. A trained professional could go in there and set the patient free. Doctors could enter the minds of comatose patients, heal from the inside out. We could bring unconscious conflicts out into the open and help people solve their problems in a matter of hours rather than years. It could mean the end of so much needless suffering.
But invading someone's mind like that? How is that okay?
Don't knock it till you try it, my dear. You should go. We'll talk more later.
There's something that guy is not telling me. I don't think it's some memory he's lost either. I think he's intentionally hiding something. Are we really going to be able to bring him back into the real world? Is that even possible? I wonder what he looks like. I wonder why I don't know what he looks like. I mean, I've been all over this house practically, and I haven't even seen a single picture of him that I know of. What is going on here? I've got to get a picture of him for the blog.
The conservatory is just through here. you completed the circuit. Incredible that Rena and I found each other. Most people would not have accepted this kind of modification. You know what room this is, of course. Hope you're not hungry. There's not a bit of food left in here. It was nice to stop thinking and just need bread or something. The brain is a muscle, and you can only flex a muscle so many times before it completely fatigues. Another example of how the other half lives. Look at the size of this room. Do you think an army lived here? But it was just Rena and her parents and myself. Let's see what's wrong with this circuit. Nicely done. That's it. Keep going. That's the stuff. Nice work. see what the problem is, shall we? Nice work.
Схема номер 1 является активным. Схема номер 2 является активным.
Let's see what's wrong with this circuit. Well done. Come. All right, let's see what the problem... It looks like this socket needs an elbow connection. found it! That's it. Keep going. Looks like all systems go. The room barometer will take you back to Talent.
So good.
These are difficult days, my dear. You must have found another key.
The picture looks like a chess piece, a pawn or something.
It's an inside joke about our work and our test subjects. Rena was Russian, and the Russians have a dark sense of humor. All you have to do is press that button there on the side, and the lights will be released. That's better. So, we had the machine ready to go. It was time to use it. It was time to enter the parallel, and from there into a person's mind. This led us to a very awkward question. Namely, whose mind were we going to view? We needed a test subject. But who would be the right candidate? We didn't know if it would be safe, so we thought, well, just use it on each other. Oh dear. Oh dear.
You okay?
You better give me some more. Quick! Okay, let's see. Oh, thank God. We didn't use it on each other. For a minute there, I thought we did.
What's the big deal?
I take it you're not married.
Who, me? Married? No way.
We all have secrets we prefer to hide from one another, especially from those we love. We don't need to know absolutely everything about each other. A little mystery is a good thing.
So, if you guys weren't the test subjects, who was?
That's a question we struggled with. The procedure is a bit invasive, you see. There's some risks involved. We needed test subjects who were, how should I say this, who were uncomplicated, single men of a certain age.
Prisoners. You tested on prisoners?
Yes, but only at first. Only until we worked out the kinks. Later, when it was safer, we chose test subjects. People who were most convenient to us. College students. We felt we could drum up some test subjects from our old university haunts. We posted our ad on the message board, where it wouldn't draw too much of the wrong kind of attention. It was very easy to set up a study and offer them a bit of money for their first time. More, please. We had some setbacks, of course, but once we had it all figured out, remember those locked doors I was telling you about? The ones inside people's minds?
Yeah, the ones I said you shouldn't open.
You did say that, but you of all people should know that locked doors can be opened. You found your way in here, after all.
So, tell me again, why didn't you go inside Rena's mind?
That would not have gone well. She was a complicated person.
What about you? Are you complicated too?
Love is complicated. I adored that woman, but sometimes I hated her too. Don't think it was good for her to see that. You should go. I need some rest for a while.
Did you notice how he started talking about Rena in the past tense? Holy shit. I'm starting to think something happened to his wife. Did he hurt her or something? What if he did and he just can't remember? Is this blog going to turn into some kind of murder mystery?
Let's take a look at the valet room. I hope to have the chance to enjoy that again someday. This kitchen has some of the latest innovations, built-in appliances and so on. I was quite fond of baking, enjoyed the chemistry aspect of it. Important to stock up for a few months at a time. The usual. What you'd expect. Stocks and canned vegetables and potatoes and rice and root vegetables and so on. We had to be careful to keep everything airtight, otherwise the bugs would get into the supply. You'd never starve in this house. Welcome to the valet room. That jerk. I had no idea what this room was for until Rena explained it to me. We never had a valet, of course. Never needed one. And God knows we had plenty of other rooms in which to spend our time. Can you imagine a grown man allowing another grown man to shave his face and dress him as if he were a child? It's absurd. But I suppose it was a mark of prestige and wealth. Who am I to judge? Well done.
Схема номер 1 является активным. Система номер 2 является активным.
Way to the room barometer wherever you like.
Система является активным.
I feel a bit anxious about your visit this time, Patterson.
Why?
Some of the memories you brought to me have been painful ones. I fear the worst is yet to come.
You may be right.
I suppose we don't get to choose what's happened in the past. Just have to live with it. Very well, then. Let's begin.
Don't you want your key?
Ah, right, of course. I'm a bit distracted, aren't I? Let's see it, please. The picture this time was a motorcycle. I imagine you ride?
Used to. Don't anymore. Here's your medicine.
I'm sure that if you share those lights with me, I'll be able to tell you more. You remember, we hoped that our discovery would be of use to doctors and investigators and such. Well, for that to really work, they'd have to actually physically enter the space of the mind. It's not enough to simply look. They'd have to be able to interact with what they saw. That's why we built that machine you see there. Patterson, I think we're getting close to finding out what went wrong with Rena and I. Give me some more if you would. It all came down to transforming and moving energy. There's nothing solid in this world. Everything we see is in motion on an atomic level. We found a way to harness this energy and cross over into the realm of pure consciousness. Here, give me a bit more, will you? It worked. At first, it was terrifying. Probably how it felt for people when planes were first invented. It just didn't seem possible. But after a while, people got used to planes, didn't they? And we got used to going back and forth between these planes of existence. You've certainly gotten used to it, haven't you?
I don't know if I'd say I'm used to this, exactly.
That's good. You should keep your guard up a bit. This is more dangerous for you than you know. We were not as clever as you. We put too much faith in our own machines. We ignored the warning signs. This next memory must be more difficult than the rest. It's very resistant. I can only remember a small bit at a time. Could you go and bring back a bit more? We're nearly there, I think.
The conservatory is just through here. You completed all the circuits in this room. She was supposed to be a German ship, but after World War II, Germany had to surrender the ship to the USSR as war reparation. Good Lord, it's like a tornado in here with all these leaves flying about. Nothing like enjoying a cold beer and olives like an Italian when it's middle of February out here. It's good to take naps when you're working on a difficult problem. It gives the subconscious a chance to work things out. Close the window to stop this tornado. It's lovely, year-round, frankly. Feels like something out of a fairy tale. Strange how hard it is for us to remember our dreams. They seem so very vivid in the moment. Let's take a look and see what it looks like. This socket needs an elbow connection. Here's the object you are looking for. Nicely done. You've got it! Good. Now, left.
Схема номер 1 является активным. Схема номер 2 является активным.
got the 8th key.
Let's worry about that later. Dose me, please. At first, I didn't think much of it. These are customized machines, you know, not mass-produced. You expect some glitches once in a while, a few sparks here and there. And Rena was so excited. I was thinking about her instead of paying attention. I should have known. The machine was acting up more than usual that day. I should have insisted we wait until I had time to make some adjustments. But Rena was too excited, too eager to continue. I can't blame her, though. She wasn't the fool. I was, because I knew better.
She went in?
At first, everything was fine. I just assumed I was being paranoid, worrying too much. But then, when it was time for her to come out, there was no sign of her. The machine couldn't find her. She had disappeared. Do you want to find out what happened next? I'm ready. It was my worst nightmare. I built the machine. I was responsible for keeping it functioning correctly. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I panicked. I should have stopped and thought. I should have taken the time to fix the machine properly. But I was frantic. Rena was gone. I had to help her. So I went in after her.
And then what?
Traumatic memories are hard to process. Takes a while to piece it all together. Could you give me a bit more? I went in, and there must have been some kind of electrical surge or something. Overloaded the circuits, perhaps. And then this happened. Whatever this is. Before I could make it the whole way through, the connection dropped. My mind was torn apart. I can only assume that the machine sent only part of me through, leaving the rest of my mind in the physical plane, splintered into small bits of energetic light, settling like fallout throughout the mansion. So that's what happened. So she is here. She's lost, and thanks to you, I've got full control of my mind back. Now, what I need to do is get out of here, back to the physical world, and recalibrate the machines properly. Once I've done that, I'll be able to locate Rena, and then I can bring her back as well. We're so close. Everything we're doing for Rena now. Let's see the 8th key. Another chess piece.
Yep, the queen, I guess.
Of course it is. Now, here's what you need to do. Return to the mansion's foyer. Look for a large prescribed circle in the floor near the entrance to the home. The lab entrance will present itself to you. The answers are there. What we're both seeking is there.
Man, if the machine did that to you, then it must have obliterated your wife. I mean, I'll do what you're asking. I want to see the secret lab as much as the next guy, but, I mean, come on. I can't tell if he really thinks he's going to find his wife, or if he's just kidding himself. Or maybe he's lying to me to get me to help him. I don't know, but if he's using me, let's face it, I'm using him too. His story is probably going to make me rich. And besides, what if it is all true? What if that lady really is trapped in some kind of permanent limbo? What a nightmare.
You completed the circuit. Rena and I would burn our papers in here when we were ready to let go of one experiment or another. Some days I wish we had burned all our notes on this bloody parallel problem. We should have left well enough of them. I completed all the circuits in this room. Now that we have all the keys, now pop those keys you have collected on these pedestals. I always enjoy this. Fantastic! Now, if you wouldn't mind joining me over here. But life is an experiment. We were lucky enough to have this in place. We've had this furniture for ages, still holding up. Oh, thank goodness you've made it. Welcome to the lab. Indeed, this is where Rena and I assembled our crown jewel. Isn't she a beauty?
Yeah, it's something, all right.
But there's no time to waste. Here, let me walk you around and show you how everything works. You'll need to know all this when the time comes.
When we put you back together again, here in the real world?
Yes, exactly. Now, this operation was designed as a two-man operation, Rena and myself, so I'm afraid you'll have to do the work of two people when you're here.
I'm pretty sure I can handle it.
I have no doubt someone as young and healthy as yourself should have no problem. Oh, good Lord, it's roasting down here. Let's get the air circulation running again. That should bring the temperature down. There's 3 breakers nearby. Throw them to get the air moving again. first order of business is to find the breaker. You might want to look at this. If you can find the breakers and flip them, we'll have more air in here. We'll have more air in here. That's one down, just 2 to go. You found one of them. There are 2 more here somewhere. 2 down, 1 to go. That's 2. There's 1 more here somewhere. You might want to look at this. There we go. Now then, let's take a look around. And that, Miss Patterson, is the capacitor.
It's huge.
It is indeed. Has to be in order to hold all the energy required to tear open a portal to another dimension.
You say that like it's so obvious.
It's incredible, is what it is. You see, what we do is trickle charge the capacitor. It builds up a massive amount of energy, and then we fire it, all at once in an extremely targeted way. The blast is so strong, it pricks a hole in the fabric of reality itself. It opens a door to the parallel. But that's only part of the story. It's all well and good to open the door, but the parallel is a world without limits, and that makes it dangerous. If one simply walked in, they could simply disappear. We realized that we had to give ourselves some guidance, and that's where the probes come in. Here, I'll show you. Do you see these devices mounted on the top?
Those big plugs? Yeah, I see them.
Those are the probes. Very important. They shape the signal to the parallel. It's essential that they're positioned just so. If they're even an inch out of place, we're in trouble.
Why are they so important?
How to explain? Have you ever had to use an antenna?
I guess, once in a while.
You know how you have to adjust it at times in order to pick up a signal.
Sure, I guess. I have to move my phone around sometimes to get a better Wi-Fi signal.
The same principle applies. Because you see, the frequency is critical. You have to get it right. When it's tuned just so, then the information can flow. It's like a current of electricity into and out of the parallel. It's a bit like finding a radio station on the dial, I suppose. At first, just static, and then all of a sudden the music comes through loud and clear.
I see.
Look over here. Look at these computers. Do you see them?
Wow, those are old school.
Do you know what we use them for?
Listening to really, really old music?
No, we use them to store people.
Say what?
Right at the moment of transit, the traveler becomes data. Becomes ones and zeros, just for a moment. We needed a place to safely store that data because, obviously, it's very important that data reconstitutes back into flesh and blood when travelers return.
Wow.
My DNA is in these machines, or my genetic blueprint is anyway. We'll need to use the data stored in these machines to retrieve the blueprint, so that I can be put together again. Correctly, of course. My head needs to be on my shoulders and so on. Everything where it's supposed to be. Now, look here, on the lab floor. See anything unusual? You don't usually see a grand piano in a lab, eh? Rena insisted we move it down here so that she could play. She and I spend so much time in the lab that we added a few of the comforts of home. And there's nothing Rena loved more than her music.
Aw, that's sweet.
When I'm here, I can feel her. Close to you. Can't you?
Huh? I don't know. Not really.
Come now, don't you? Perhaps just a little bit.
Well, yeah, okay. I guess I do, kind of.
Indeed. At any rate, let's move on. Behind these sealed fire doors is one of the battery rooms. Good job we have these doors, actually. Those batteries can get a bit pungent, what with the chemicals and whatnot. Wouldn't want you passing out, miss.
I do feel a little funny now that you mention it.
Then we won't linger. All you need to know is that these batteries are critical to the operation. Without their power, the capacitor would be useless. Over here. Now then, it's time to take a look at something really special. Over here, this way to the Weaver. Down, please. It took over a year and a half just to build the capacitor. It would have taken much longer if we hadn't had the gravity tool to assemble it. I had parts of it commissioned from factories all over the country. We assembled it here like the world's largest model kit. All right, here we are. Now, you meet the business end of the device.
God, it's loud!
There's the parallel foil. Recognize the umbilicus down there? You don't usually see it from this angle, eh? And that's the Weaver. See the ring? It weaves the cables that run down the side of the silo into the umbilicus. A person's data is transmitted down the umbilicus, and then it's put back together again there at the foot of the machine. It's a bit like a telephone, you see. Phones send voices over wires to another location. But in this case, instead of transmitting our voices, we transmitted ourselves. Now let's go upstairs and take a look at the nerve center of the whole operation, the control room. Up, please.
What do you do when there's no one around to push these buttons for you?
Oh, my dear. The elevator's not here for my benefit. Oh, good Lord, look at that. I did a good job with that, didn't I? Oh, dear. Must clean that sometime. Over here. Excuse me, young lady. This way. We need to go this way. If you wouldn't mind following me, please. From up here, we can see the status of all the device's critical systems. It also comes with a pretty spectacular view. When the time comes, you'll need to come up here in order to adjust the probes.
The probes are the antenna, right? They pick up the signal?
Exactly so. Now, we keep the probes locked in place, and you'll need to unlock them by disengaging the magnetic clamping system. You'll do so by using these series of levers here by the side of the console. Hey, look at this thing over here. Hey, look at this thing over here. No, that's the opposite of following. Once the probes are released from the couplings, you will be able to use the gravity tool to reposition them into alternative sockets. Everything looks to be shipshape for now, though, so let's head down to the barometer. Down, please. You know, we might be able to cheat the system. If I get inside and bridge a circuit, and you give the barometer a whack, it might skip to the next circuit.
Okay, let's give it a try.
Okay, let's see if this works. Right then. Now, okay, I think I've got it. Now, give it a bash.
Okay, bashing coming right up.
Нравится активным.
I take it you found your way into the lab. How did the equipment look? Was there much damage? How was the capacitor?
That is the most mad scientist place I've ever seen.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Seriously, if people knew about that place...
Let's not worry about other people right now. Best if we just get started. Yes. I see the lab. It's held up remarkably well. Do you remember what I said to you? How I first described the lab?
Don't know. You said a lot of things.
I told you that things you've dreamed of are waiting for you there.
Yeah, that was a weird thing to say.
Let's see this through, Patterson. You're so important to me. You're helping me help Rena. I will forever be grateful. I will repay you. You have my word.
If this helps Rena, then cool.
Your lips to God's ear, my dear. Now, if you have more memories for me.
Here you go.
Good. Good. Things are coming along. Now we can start to work on the extraction plan. With any luck, I'll be back in the real world soon. God, I can't wait to feel the sun on my skin and see real trees again. Tell me, Patterson, how do you feel?
Who, me? I feel fine.
Good, because we're close. But we're not done yet. We should brace ourselves mentally for whatever comes next. We are facing many unknowns. For example, we don't know if I can even cross back over safely. We don't know if I'll be able to make the necessary repairs to the machine. Who knows if I can pinpoint her location, or if she's even alive. I don't know if this will be a search and rescue operation, or a search and retrieval operation. Do you understand my meaning?
You're saying you don't know if you're saving Rena or just retrieving her body?
Yes, exactly. I can't bear to think of that way, but I must. I have to prepare myself for every eventuality. You should too. I'll see you soon. Good. You're back. We have a lot of work to do. Let's take a look at those reels for reels. Only a few of them are running, and that won't be enough. We need all of them if we're going to access my genetic blueprint. Boy, I said this way. We go this way. No, that's the opposite of following. Hey, look at this thing over here. Please, we don't have time to waste. Two to go. I'm over here. One left. Boy, I said this way.
This way, please. Follow me. Huzzah! We are in business! Right. Now, as I said before, when someone goes through the machine, their DNA is transformed into data. I don't mean to startle you, Patterson, but you are on these tapes now.
I am?
Indeed. Each time you've gone into the parallel, the machines have facilitated your travel. And as a result, they had to capture some of you. Your data doppelganger is in these machines. For the moment, anyway.
Well, let's delete that. Right now.
We will write over these tapes, don't worry.
Whoa! What was that?
Oh, blast it. There must have been an overload in the battery room. Oh, we don't have time for this sort of setback. Let's see if we can fix it. Oh, look at this mess. Do you see those burnt-out power couplings? First thing we need to do is take those out and replace them with spare batteries.
Yes, master.
Use the gravity tool to take out those burnt batteries right here. The batteries should just come right out, no problem. Just pull them towards you. Very good. Now, it's out with the old, in with the new. We've got some spare batteries right there. Just pop them right in.